Hey, yo, what it do? We got UFC Fight Night just concluding. Carlos Prates taking on Magny. Gets the job done. I'm going to go through the entire card, breaking down each fight, some of the props going into them and so forth, and my overall reaction. Kicking things off, we had Melissa Mullins, missing weight, but getting the job done within the distance via TKO against Segula. Predicted this. The prop was plus 400 by the time I had locked that in, so I was pretty happy with that. Part of the Toad Smackers list. So Mullins gets the job done there. Moving up the card, Tresean Gore. I was pretty confident with my pick here. I just wasn't sure how. I figured it would actually go to a decision. Sure enough, he cranks this mean guillotine, just like he had done against Josh. Tricoli gets tapped out by a white belt. Mackenzie Dern, I'm sure, is very happy with that. But no, props to Gore. Gets the job done. And moving up the card, another great submissionist, Damon Blackshear, tapping out Cody the Spartan. I was pretty happy with Blackshear's performance. He was also part of my Toad Tappers list of the week, so plus 400 prop there, looking good. Moving up the card, we get a great knockout finish. Chuck Buffalo getting the job done against Matthew Simmelsberger. Honestly, not too surprised. And yeah, he makes the point too. Like, it's kind of a smack in the face. I lose to this Prates guy, and here I am signing my autograph on a poster of this guy. I want that fight back. So calls it as it is. I like his mentality. That's what you got to have in this game. So looking forward to watching more Chuck Buffalo. But yeah, he's being on the feet. He's got power. I'm not saying he's extremely technically sound, but he's just one of those car crash kind of guys that just wants to swing big. If he doesn't have it go his way in the first two rounds, he probably isn't going to look good going into the third. Moving up the card, we had Zaleski taking on a short notice fill-in and Zach Scrogan, who also missed weight. Yeah, there's levels to it, and Zaleski reminded the world of that. Gets the job done there via TKO. Moving up the card, last of the prelims, we had Denise Gomez. Thought she'd get the job done within the distance. Surprisingly, Carolina fighting back with her own series of combos. I don't know if it was just my stream, but it actually cut it out and did a promo for the UFC pay-per-view next week with John Jones. I didn't even get to see the judge scorecard officially. Sure enough, Gomez wins the fight, and we have aced prelims 2 weeks in a row. Moving on to the main card, I had Mansour as a lock. I was really happy with his performance here. Dusko, he's a striker as well, but he just isn't very defensively sound. There's some inactivity there with him, as well as some former injuries. I mean, Mansour put it right on him, and there was no denying it. Like, okay, so despite Dusko was on the ground, going for some submission attempts, grabbing that foot, trying to twist it, he was just eating like vicious ground and pound hammer shots to the face. And I just don't get why these guys don't let that shit go and try to scramble and get to a better position, because those hammer shots were eating up. You could see like a huge welt in the side of Dusko's face. Didn't go his way, as expected. Mansour, another Toad Smacker finish for you. Moving up the card, Canada, 2 weeks in a row, hasn't quite had the best of performances. Jillian Robertson was expected to hit her submission. She gets the job done via decision. It was a rough performance, though, for her. Luiana, very strong, lengthy. Actually looked better on the feet. This is a part where Robertson has, honestly, a big flaw in her game. If you can take her to the later rounds, you're no longer dry, her cardio is no longer the best, and just keep the fight on the feet. Robertson really doesn't have a lot in the striking exchange, and she's really just too gassed to complete most takedown attempts and sweeps and so forth. But Robertson gets the job done. Had a nice submission attempt right at the end of the first round, I believe it was. But obviously wasn't enough time to finish it. Moving up the card, we had Gaston, which is like a Timu Ilya, as some people were saying, taking on a contender winner, Romias. I thought Romias was going to get the job done via submission. First round looked like it was going to be exactly that. Had Gaston's back a lot of time, and just like a body triangle, trying to work various different positions from the ground. And this fight was very back and forth. I was very confused how the overall scorecard for Gaston, although I do believe he edges the victory in damage, I had it 1-1 going into the third round in which he won. I was so surprised to see the scorecard 30-26 on that. So kind of some bullshit, but that is actually the only fight I got wrong. And again, I agree that Gaston did enough to get the job done. Just, you know, there was no 10-8 rounds in that fight by any means. Moving up the card, really impressive match-off stylistically between De Ridder and GM3. GM3, I thought would look better on the feet, you know, in this fight. Surprised De Ridder, throw out some nice lengthy jabs, you know, pepper him up a bit, stuff the takedowns. GM3 was actually looking very good in the first round until the very end, and things just started not going his way. We saw GM3 extremely gassed, not able to, you know, counter grapple the best, was on his back quite a bit. De Ridder was peppering in some shots of his own and working for the submission, which he finally gets as well going into the third round. So he gets a triangle choke there. Main card, as you expected, Carlos Prates, fighting nerd, shows up. First round knockout, Neil Magny. I said in my prediction, Prates will look the best in the first, second round. Moving beyond that, Neil Magny should, as he historically does, start to look better throughout that fight. Magny's game plan was simple. Come in, try to get Prates off the fucking feet, take him to the ground. And it kind of backfired on him. Magny was the one on his back. Prates working, you know, working for the finish. Was not too surprised at all. Again, the fact that it was kind of like a really weird glancing shot to the temple. It wasn't full. These guys that have that capability just seem to brush somebody and have that knockout power. That's just so surprising. So Neil Magny getting flatlined like that, yes, it's impressive, but this man has also weathered so many storms, always taking on younger, you know, some of the highest prospects through the company. So props to him there. He gave it his best. Didn't go his way. I'd like to see Magny start to, I don't know, dial back in the rankings a bit, fight some more veteran fighters, run it back, a couple other fighters in the you know, you take on Jeff Neal would be a good one for him, just to cycle back through fights like that. I think these prospects and these younger guys are gonna, for the most part, continue to be a problem for Magny, and I don't think Magny should always have to fight the guys that are up and comers that are just, you know, far less miles on the tank. So overall, card redeemed itself. I mean, you had the no love fight cancellation with Miles Johns, which sucked. You had the fight with Ricky get canceled. Nicholas Dalby pulled out. So again, shout out to Zach for stepping in short notice. But yeah, next week's pay-per-view going to be a good one. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and stay tuned for the cards, the breakdowns, and information for that pay-per-view. Much love. Peace.